Hey, what's up, guys? Busy day for Apple today. We have new iPhones, new Apple Watches, so much going on. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap of the event and everything you need to know about these new devices. And they started by redesigning the Apple Watch. So this is a device that they're very proud of. They worked very hard to redesign every little piece of it, every little detail. So they've reworked everything. There is so much here. First off, the design is now much more rounded. The screen curves with the actual chassis. The back has a redesigned heart rate sensor with an electrocardiogram now. The actual digital crown is a taptic version. It's a solid state button. Everywhere you look on this watch, you're going to notice little changes, little details, and I'll break it down for you. So let's start with those displays. Apple has brought the display to the very edge, so the bezels have been reduced. It's the same size of the actual physical watch, just the screens have been increased. So it's now a 40 millimeter and a 44 millimeter. The 40 is 35% larger. The 44 is 32% larger than the previous 42 millimeter. So it's not as big as I thought, but still a considerable difference. And this means there's so much more room for watch faces for whatever you're doing. Many of the applications, in fact, they said all of the applications have been reworked to take advantage of this display. And I would expect nothing less. Now you're going to be able to get so much more information, and there's a ton of new watch faces complications to put onto that display. There's a new Breathe watch face, well, several different versions of it, and many dynamic watch faces that actually go to the edge of the display, such as a fire or water, or the vapor one. It looks quite nice. So it's nice that Apple's embracing that display. The digital crown is now taptic, so it uses probably an upgraded taptic engine. Apple's also upgraded the speakers. They're now 50% louder, and I thought my Series 3 ones were pretty abysmal, so that's definitely great. They said that you're definitely going to notice that difference. The microphone has been placed on the other side so as to cause less interference. Now there's a new electrocardiogram, and cellular reception is better since the back is now entirely ceramic. There's a new processor, the S4. It's a 64-bit dual core for the first time ever, and it's exactly 2 times as fast as the previous generation. So that means a lot more is possible. Apple also upgraded the accelerometer and gyroscope, so you're going to get a lot more input information, and that means they added a new fall detection feature.
At Longhorn, get tonight's special. The Great American Steak Dinner for $12.99. A center-cut sirloin with a side, plus a starter or dessert. And for lunch, try one of our burgers, like the barbecue bacon burger. You can't fake steak.
So if you fall and you don't respond, it automatically calls emergency services. Kind of nice, I guess. The back has an electrocardiogram, which when you touch the actual digital crown, it'll send pulses through your body and then measure your heart rhythm. And it can detect if you have atrial fibrillation. It's been FDA approved, so this is the first time ever that anyone, a consumer, can actually measure this. It's kind of amazing. So that was a rumor, turned out to be true, and it could actually save potentially lives in the future. The back looks very, very Android-like, very futuristic. They've redesigned it completely. I really like it. So this is probably my favorite product from what they've announced today. Seriously awesome. All right, so in a nutshell, a redesigned Apple Watch, a larger display, slightly better battery life, well, actually equivalent to the Series 3. You're still going to get 18 hours of battery life. The battery life does get better during outdoor workouts. It's up to 6 hours now, and in general, it's just such a beautiful product. There are a lot more finishes than we anticipated. So there are 3 in aluminum, 3 in a stainless steel, and there's that new gold stainless color that's separate as well. No more ceramic, that's been done with, but this is going to be an extremely popular product. Every single portion of it was redesigned, so if you're waiting to upgrade an old Apple Watch or maybe get one, now is the time. This thing is seriously awesome. Now, yes, all of your old bands will still be compatible with the Apple Watch Series 4, so that remains. There are some new special editions. There's a new gold Milanese loop, and this is to match the new gold iPhone XS, of course. There are new Nike editions that take advantage of the entire display, the Hermes edition, several new editions with that. The price starts at $399, so there's still a separation between GPS and cellular. Cellular versions go to $499, and the Apple Watch Series 3 remains at $279. Pre-orders start on September 14th, and it's going to be available later on September 21st. Watch OS 5 will be available on Monday. So there is the Apple Watch Series 4. All right, so moving on to the iPhone XS. And yes, just as expected, just as leaked, the iPhone XS has that new space bubble wallpaper look. It's gold, it has the new gold color. Apple calls it their most beautiful color ever. It's the most advanced iPhone they've ever created, as they called it. And of course, they wouldn't say anything else. Interesting points is that it's the most durable glass on an iPhone ever, so that should be interesting to test. It's now IP68 water resistant, up to 2 meters for 30 minutes.
How did this happen?
They've got a new Super Retina display, and don't let that name fool you, it's still the same resolution and all. The only difference is that the contrast ratio has gotten, as they say, 60% greater, or the dynamic range on the iPhone 10. So it is going to be a better picture overall, but it's mostly marketing here. We will have to see the verdict once they're in hand, though. The iPhone XS Max, though, is the biggest difference. That's a 6.5-inch display. It will have the software features when going into horizontal, very similar with the iPads. You're going to be able to take greater advantage of films and games with so much more room. And they really, brought that point down with how much extra room you're going to have on that display. It's truly gigantic, the biggest iPhone ever. And these speakers have been improved with a greater dynamic sound. And now they said it's deeper, the stereo, white stereo as they called it. They did improve Face ID. It's now faster, loads faster, and is even more secure than before. So that's going to be a nice one. And that's not software differences, that's actual hardware differences. The Apple A12, what a monster. 6.9 billion transistors. It's now 15% faster for the high-end cores, 40% more efficient, and 50% more efficient for the low-end other cores. It has 5 trillion transistors compared to 600 million on the Apple A11. Huge advancement, and because of that chip, it's now possible to have 512 gigabytes of storage, so it's going to be quite the upgrade there. And because of that Apple A12, everything that you do will be impacted. Apps will load 30% faster just because of that chip, and the camera improvements, most of them happen because of that chip. Now Apple has improved the True Tone flash, and they have apparently improved the cameras. Somehow they didn't really make it very clear, but it's mostly coming from the improvements to the signal imaging processor and the Apple A12 chip, how they all work together. Basically, they created this thing called Smart HDR, where every single picture will be over-analyzed completely by the chip, every aspect of the Apple A12, and it'll give you the perfect photo every single time. And in particular, when taking pictures against the sun, you're going to get a perfect picture with greater dynamic range just because it's combining so many aspects, so many photos together to give you the perfect one. The video gets greatly improved as well, but before I get into that, I wanted to mention the bokeh. So you can actually change the blur in the background in real time after taking the photo. And they say this is the first time you can ever do it to this level ever. And this is like real bokeh change. Apparently Samsung has something like this. They didn't address that at all.
I don't know how I feel about being the third wheel in a relationship. Says the guy in my bed with my wife.
Video does get some improvements, no new modes or changing video settings from the camera app, but the sensor is 2 times faster, so you're going to be able to get better low light photography and in particular video. So better video, and you're going to be able to get greater stereo sound while recording. Well, first off, you'll get stereo sound, and overall just better with those 4 microphone setups. The battery life is 30 minutes better than the iPhone 10 on the standard XS, and on the XS Max, it's 1.5 hours better than the iPhone 10, which is already pretty good. The LTE modem is now gigabit, and it has even more support for roaming worldwide. There is the dual SIM technology. Every phone but in China will have an eSIM, so you'll be able to go to your carrier, these listed, get an eSIM set up, and then have a physical SIM card for a different number. If you're in China, you'll actually get that new SIM card tray that was leaked with both sides. You put a different physical SIM on it. So in a nutshell, louder, faster, better screens. The Apple A12 is everywhere basically. It helps with mostly everything. It's going to be much faster, but not as crazy big of an upgrade over the 10 as I had thought. I thought that we might have seen promotion, but still, it's going to be the most durable, fastest, best camera phone ever. And just when I thought that they weren't going to announce this at the event, Apple did go ahead and show us the iPhone XR, a name that still mystifies me. I don't know what it means. It didn't explain explain what the R means. At this point, the 10C could have made more sense since it looks very similar to the iPhone 5C models, but yeah, this is it. It actually looks stunning. All of the new colors are gorgeous, and the video ad that they showed was perfect for this. So there is a new yellow one. In fact, there's a blue one, a red one, and this is a true product red edition, so it does have that label on the back, not something that we saw. There's that silver and space gray color. And overall, I definitely do like how they made it look and how they're going to be selling it. So this is a budget end iPhone. Don't get that wrong. There is a lot that's been downgraded from the iPhone XS models, but you're still getting so much for your money. First off, this is an LCD, the most advanced LCD they've ever made. They're calling it liquid retina. They had to work extensively to make it curve and to make everything accurate. The resolution is a little bit disappointing, but still coming in at 326 pixels per inch. It does get a lot of the cool iPhone X features, such as the swipe up, the interface itself, tap to wake, which kind of surprised me. That's awesome that they added that. It does have the same second generation Face ID. It does have the Apple A12 chip, so you're getting the full potential there. And the camera itself, even though it's a single sensor, it's still very capable. It's the same single sensor, the wide angle one from the iPhone XS, and you're still going to get that portrait lighting and portrait photography mode, as well as that advanced bokeh control. So all of the features on the iPhone XS you're still going to get here, and it's mostly all digital software based, but still you're getting the same effect. That is awesome. Battery life is still, it's better an hour and a half over the iPhone 8 Plus, so you're getting a lot for your money here. The most surprising thing is, though, that this thing does not have 3D touch. Instead, you're having haptic touch, so when you long press on something, you're going to feel a haptic press, similar to 3D touch, but this doesn't happen. This is taking a step towards a 3D touch-less iPhone future, and I certainly do see that being reduced or removed in the future. And there it is, the quick recap of these devices. Now, as for actual order dates, you'll be able to pre-order it on this Friday, September 14th, and receive it on September 21st. That's the in-hand street date. So what do you guys think? Personally, I do like them. I'm going to be getting the iPhone XS Max. The XR, I think, is going to be an extremely popular device, as it's going to be priced at $749, which is very competitive, and it goes up to 256 gigabytes. It'll have 3 storage tiers at 64, 128, and 256. So surprising choice there. The iPhone XS models will start at $999, XS Max at $1,099. And there are those new iPhones. I'm going to be doing a full comparison here later today. Peace.